Hey everyone, how you doing? It's Mr. Outlaw, and today we're going to take a look at the brand new TFv4 mini version. That's right, this is the mini version. Same awesome tank as the TFv4 full size, but this is a 22mm device. Comes with a Clapton coil head, a Clapton coil RBA deck, and a 6-coil head. So let's get into it. Look at that vapor. My air conditioner just kicked on, so it's kind of blowing around, but wow. That's all I can say is wow. If you like the original TFv4, you know, this one right here, where'd it go? The full-size version, you're going to love this tank. This has everything that the original version has, but it's 22mm instead of 24mm. Now, you have to give up something. You're going to have to give up the capacity. This is only going to hold 3.5 milliliters of juice, whereas this one holds 5, but wow, it's going to fit great on all your mods. It has tons more coil options, and they've made some improvements, including putting a glass drip tip inside of the adjustable drip airflow drip tip. So I currently have this on my VT200 from H Cigar. It's a DNA 200 device. I have the airflow about halfway open. It's at 50 watts, reading 0.35 ohms. Let's go ahead and take a vape on it. Wow. Phenomenal vapor, phenomenal flavor. I mean, I like Clapton coils, but I'm not very good at building them. I mean, I don't mind going out and buying a Clapton coil like that's already made, but I'm not really great at making those Clapton coils. Well, now you have a great option. If you don't really want to make your own, if you don't want to wind your own, you can go ahead and buy coil heads for the TFv4 Mini. I mean, it's just a great thing. And those coil heads are also going to work on your full-size TFv4. So you can have both tanks, have all these different coil heads, and they're going to all be interchangeable. Now, I did receive this from a company up in New York called Origin Vape. I'll leave a link down in the description. It's originvape.com. You can buy the TFv4 Mini two ways. You can either buy it as just the tank, or you can buy it as a full kit. Origin Vape is currently selling the TFv4 Mini full kit for $39.99. And this is what it's going to come with. The 22mm tank, full-size tank, the Clapton coil feature, the RCA coils, top fill atomizer. It's going to come with an extra Pyrex glass tank, some vape bands, more good stuff. We'll take a look at that in the up close and personal. I have to tell you, I am really enjoying this tank. As much as I love the TFv4 full size, it didn't look great on some of my mods. I was kind of using that only on my larger mods like my Smock X Cube 2. Now I can put it on all of them. I mean, look at the way this sits on my DNA 200. And we can grab another device. We'll even grab, let's see, over here. We'll grab even this EVIC. We'll grab the EVIC VTC Mini version. We'll put this on here. Everything's rolling around on me, and look at that. Take a look at that. It looks awesome even on this device. So really happy they came out with this mini version of this. So let's take a vape on this, then we're going to dive down, take a look at the up close and personal of everything, and then we'll come back and do all the pros and cons. Okay, so here we have the box of the Smock TFv4 Mini. You can see on here it's the stainless steel version. It says Clapton dual coil, sweet like cotton candy. This is the stainless steel. The black is not available yet at the time that I'm making this video. Over here on the side it says TFv4 Mini, the original top fill refill tank by Smock. It includes the TFCLP2 Clapton dual core head, the TFS6, the sextuple core head, and a TFRCA rebuildable Clapton coil head, as well as some extra spare parts. Over on the side, we have some authenticity stickers, some QR codes, and that's about it. So let's go ahead and open this up. And I am doing this a little bit in reverse. It came in the mail today. I'm going to open it up, do an unboxing, then I'm going to vape on it for a few days, test it out, and then we'll come back and do a review video. So if I can get this packaging open. Slide this off. It says Smock. And some extra little gel. And here is our TFv4 Mini. Okay, so we can go ahead and just take this apart. We'll put this to the side, see what's down here below. We've got a little instruction manual. A list of all of the different heads that we have available for the TFv4. Then we got a little warning thing. This is just a little bit of user information stuff, some extra cotton. Got a bunch of extra O-rings, some Clapton coil it looks like, and then we have some extra O-rings, an extra thing for our refill. We've got some extra vape bands, an extra glass tube, a screwdriver. This is going to be our rebuildable Clapton coil head, and it comes with a Clapton coil already on there for us. And then this is going to be our 6 coil head. So let's take a closer look at the RBA deck for Clapton coils. It's called the TFRCA, if you can see that there. We'll just take a quick look around this. Now the bottom contact where it goes inside of the base is a little bit different. Instead of having 4 airflow holes like the other heads, we just have 2 giant slots to feed tons of air into our RBA deck section. Over here on the side we have 2 juice wells, and you can see those are very, very large. They're about 3 millimeters wide. Looking up from the top, we can see our single coil there, and it looks like it has 4 screws to trap down our leads. We'll go ahead and we'll open this up. And we can see now they do give us a Clapton coil already installed on this deck. And just to get an idea here, let's see how big this is so we have an idea. So, okay, so this is, it looks like it is just about a 3.5 millimeter diameter coil there. So we have a large deck to be able to build our coils in. Now you don't need to use Clapton coils on this deck. You can use it if you just want to build a nice big standard Canthal or maybe a titanium coil and you don't like the single coil deck. I'm probably going to try and build regular coils with this because I like the way it traps the leads under rather than the other system. Now down here on each side we have some massive juice wells to feed our cotton down into to get plenty of juice flow up into our coils. And we have a big 3.5 millimeter wide airflow channel right up the center. So that's the RBA deck for Clapton coils. So it's nice here that they've given us so many different coil options. And again, this can be used both on the TFv4 Mini as well as the regular TFv4. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a closer look at the TFv4 Mini. Okay, so this is the Mini version. Very similar. We have our drip tip up here with adjustable airflow. Now up on the top, this is a little different than the original version. We can take here a look at the original version. The original version had a stainless steel inside. This now has a glass tube. We can also take a look at the difference in size here. Again, this is the original, 24 millimeters wide. This is the Mini version. It is 22 millimeters wide. So a big difference, same height as well though. Okay, so coming back over here, we can see we have our adjustable airflow down here. Down on the bottom, designed by Smock, I have serial number 100. Same thing, removable drip tip. It's got a double O-ring system. Then we're going to go ahead and open it up. It opens up the same way. Do our juice fill there. And let's go ahead and take this apart and take a look at that Clapton build. It is definitely a little tight for the first time we're opening it up. Okay, so here is our Clapton coil, and that thing is massive. Look at the size of this thing. This is a huge coil head, and take a look inside there. This is our Clapton build here, you can see. TFCLP2. Massive airflow holes on the side. We got four juice holes on one side, 4 juice holes on the other side. And we'll see, take a look down in there. So we'll go ahead, we will screw this down. We have our removable glass here. O-ring. This is a very, very clean unit. I'm not seeing any type of machine oil or anything on there. So we'll go ahead. I'm going to take this. We're going to go and clean it. Rinse it out real quick, then we will come back, we will fill it up, and then we will vape on it. Okay, so I've rinsed it off. Let's go ahead and fill this up. We're going to take this and slide this back. They have definitely made this a little bit stiffer. It doesn't slide open as easily. Okay, so we'll go ahead and we're going to fill this up with some Cosmic Crunch here. And just fill it up. Now this tank, I believe, holds 3 milliliters of e-juice. And I'm going to set this to the side. I'm going to let it soak up all that juice into the coils. And then we're going to go back up to FaceTime and talk about some of the pros and cons of the device. So that's the up close and personal for the TFv4 Mini, and you can see very similar to the original TFv4. And if you want to learn more about that, I'll leave a link to that video in the description below. But very similar. Made a couple little changes to make it the mini version. Number one thing being that they've had to take it from a 5 milliliter tank down to a 3.5 milliliter tank. And they've also changed the drip tip to have the glass insert as opposed to the stainless steel insert. I actually really like that because the stainless steel one, especially when you're vaping at 60, 70, 80 watts, tended to get a little hot. So having that glass insert makes a huge difference. Let's take a vape here, and then we're going to go on and talk about the pros and cons. And again, I have it on the DNA 200. I have it set at 60 watts. Let's take a nice vape here. The flavor that's coming out of this Clapton coil is phenomenal. I absolutely am loving it. I did want to do one thing though, is we're going to change this over to just a different setting, and we're going to lower it down and see. I'm going to put it at, say, 35 watts. Okay, and just see how it goes here. So I've got it at 34.9 watts, and let's take a vape and see how it hits at a lower wattage. Still hits well. Obviously, I don't have this set with a nice preheat time, so you're going to have to take a little bit longer vape unless you want to adjust the preheat on the DNA 200. But a much cooler vape, but it is still performing. It is still heating up. I'll take one more vape there. So I'm getting some of the flavor, but I really feel this coil needs to be bumped back up, and we're going to bump it back up, and we're going to go back up to 50 watts. Yeah, it makes a huge difference. From that 35 to the 50 watts, it just makes a huge difference. So this is a coil that you're really going to want to be vaping at probably anywhere between 40 and about 90 watts to have a really good vape. I have been using it for a while, gone through a few tanks, and I have not gotten any dry hits. It really feeds the juice in well, and I've been vaping on like 80 VG juice, and I've had no problem with dry hits, even doing vape after vape after vape, doing a bunch of chain vaping. It's been awesome as far as performance, feeding the juice in. So let's get into the pros and cons. We'll start off with the cons, and I really don't have many. A couple of subjective cons. Number one subjective con is going to be the fact that we did have to drop it down to 3.5 milliliters for juice capacity. If you've watched my other video, if you've seen some of the different reviews out there, when you start using these Clapton coils, the 3 coil, the 4 coil, the 6 coil heads, you are going to go through a tremendous amount of juice very quickly. So knocking down that juice capacity definitely is a subjective con. It's going to be something you're going to have to refill a lot. If you're going to just use, it's a single coil or a dual coil or make your own coils, you shouldn't have that issue. But with these 3, 4, and 6 coil heads, you're going to go through a lot of juice, and 3.5 milliliters may not be enough. Now, another con I'm going to have on this device is I did find when I got it, and I don't know if you have to work it in or a little bit, but they have tightened up the hinge for opening up the top to fill it up. So I had a little bit of a hard time opening it up the first couple times. It has loosened up a little bit, but it's definitely tighter than the other one. And the same thing with the air control ring down on the bottom. They have stiffened it up. I wish it was just a little bit looser. It may be over time as I use it that loosens up a little bit, but I do have to mention that. Other than that, I really have no other cons for this device other than maybe what you saw on the first one, and honestly, they've made some great improvements. So now let's talk about some of the pros. We'll take a vape here first. Just phenomenal. I am really enjoying these Clapton coil heads. You know, like I said earlier, I'm not very good at building Clapton coils, you know, and having to sit there and wrap the wire. So the fact that they're giving me a Clapton coil replaceable head is great. And usually I'm not one that's going to go out and buy replaceable coil heads. I want to build my own coils, but these may be something that I invest in. They just give you great flavor. So moving on to the pros, that's the number one pro, is that the heads work very, very well. Now the next one is going to be the fact that they've been able to slim this down into a 22 millimeter device. Now, I know we are giving up some juice capacity, but now it looks great on all your mods. You don't have this monstrous tank on top of your little tiny EVID VTC. You know, it looks good, it fits flush. So that's a great improvement in my mind. Another pro is going to be the fact that they did stiffen up the opening on the top to refill. Now, I know I mentioned it as a con, but I also have to mention that as a pro because my original one would open up too easily. I would have times where I would just kind of like adjust the drip tip a little bit and the whole top would swing open. So although I mentioned as a con that it was a little stiff, I think that as I use it a little bit more, that'll loosen up and we'll have someplace in between the two different devices. But they have absolutely improved the catch that holds it shut, and that's a huge pro in my mind. Another pro is going to be that it came very clean. I really had no machine oil on it. I rinsed it out once, dried it off, and I was able to fill it up. There was no machine oil, no scratches. It looks great. Another pro is going to be the fact that it comes with 3 coil heads, and the fact that they didn't give us the same coil heads that we got with the full size. You know, if you went out and bought the full size kit, you got 3 different coil heads, and I like the fact that they're giving you 3 more options, so that now if you have both, you've got 6 different coil heads to try out and decide which one you really want. So that's an awesome feature that we're able to do that. And the fact that they're introducing the Clapton coils and a Clapton coil rebuildable, that is just a nice feature. I have not yet seen a rebuildable deck for a sub-ohm tank that can fit a Clapton coil in, and now we have that. Now, my last pro is going to be the price point. I really think that the price point on this is perfect. $39.99 for the full kit. I mean, you're getting a lot for your money. Now, I do know that you can go out and buy just the tank if you don't want the coil heads, but I'm really going to encourage you to get the full kit. You know, I've seen the tank selling on some of the websites for about $35, $30 to $35, and honestly, for the extra $10, it's worth it to buy the full kit. You know, with the full kit, you're going to get the spare glass, you get the vape bands, and you get the 3 heads. And not only are you getting the 3 different heads, but you're getting your Clapton coil head, you're getting the rebuildable Clapton coil, which has a coil on it already, and then they're giving you some spare Clapton wires so you can make a 3rd coil. So that alone right there is worth that $10 difference. You know, I've seen some of these websites selling the single coil heads just like an RBA deck for $15. So the fact that now for $10 more, you get all 3 options, it's a great deal. So all in all, I think this is a great device. It's a huge improvement over the TFv4, and I think that that is a great device. So to be able to take such a great device and then slim it down and have it work, and the fact that we can use the same heads in both different ones, so you can have the mini on some, you can have, you know, your full size on some of your other mods, and be able to swap the heads independently, that's a great deal. So that is my video for today. Hopefully I've helped you out. Hopefully I've helped you make a good decision if you're thinking about purchasing this tank. Please do me a favor, hit the like button down on the bottom. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And until next time, happy vaping.